Good evening. So, this is a subject I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. And since we've been talking about it quite recently on the channel, I figured I'd go ahead and talk to you guys about it today. Now, in the research world of Sasquatch, the people who are, everybody reads all the books, you go out into the field, you knock on trees, you scour the internet for the latest videos and pictures, and we look to our peers and other people and people we look up to for answers and for video analyzation and for encounters. The whole point of all this, though, is that we want to know. We want to know for sure Sasquatch exist. We want to know more about them. They're so enigmatic. They're just such a mystery. And the whole point is eventually working as a community, as together, as a bunch of individuals, maybe some bigger organization groups, is we would like to see this as a recognized creature. Just like there are bears, mountain lions, just like there are gorillas and chimpanzees, there are Sasquatch. Now, the people in the field know it. People like myself who have been in close proximity to these things, who have had encounters with them, who have heard strange things in the nights, who have seen the evidence, who are just believers because they believe the evidence and not just what the history book or mainstream media tells them. And for me, if there was going to be a disclosure, because when you look into this subject long enough, you realize there is a disinformation campaign. You also realize that there are either some kind of a government agency or the logging industry or some kind of a military thing or a combination of them all. Something's going on out there that's trying to keep this subject under wraps, that's trying to keep these from being a recognized species, that try to keeps it as a fringe subject, that try to keeps it as a, tongue-in-cheek, those weirdos that go out and look for Bigfoot, they're just like the aliens. Actually, more people believe in aliens than Bigfoot, from what I heard recently in a poll, apparently. So when I think about this, when I think about the government, when I think about the logging industry, when the military or private organizations or whatever they are all mixed together that are actively trying to keep this a secret, I'm sure that they have their reasons. They may be even justifiable reasons why, what their origin is or how it would challenge history or what it would do to the logging industry or what it would do to tourists, or maybe these things are responsible for certain people's deaths over the years. Whatever their reason is, eventually I feel they're not going to be able to keep this a secret forever. And that's what I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you guys about what I think the best way for them to disclose what's going on is going to be. So like I talked about in my last video, it's no secret that there seems to be a rise in Bigfoot sightings. There seems to be a rise in cryptid sightings and dogman sightings and all sorts of strange things in the woods, but especially Bigfoot in particular, because they seem to be very numerous. A lot of people these days seem to know what they are. It's kind of in the common vernacular. People know what Bigfoot is. It's part of pop culture now. And as more and more human interactions happen, as more and more people go out into the world just around their daily lives, not even people who are researched or have any kind of interest in it, everybody has a phone. I mean, I see 7 and 8-year-old kids with a phone. Cameras are getting better and better on these phones. You can take HD video right on your phone. You could be out in the woods. You could be taking pictures. You could be walking up Yosemite, Half Dome, the John Muir Trail. You could be in the Rocky Mountains somewhere. You could be in East Texas on a camping trip, filming your dog catching sticks, and then you spot something out of the ordinary. You could, quite literally take a picture, take a video of it, zoom in, and then hit upload on YouTube, and you've got a video of it. Or upload it to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever you want to do, or instantly email it and text message it. Hey, look at this. What is this? And that's how stuff goes viral. And I think this ability to just instantaneously upload information, images, stories, video, audio to the internet is going to catch up. I think it already is. I think it's already got to be a nightmare for whoever's trying to keep this subject under wraps, whoever's trying to keep this from being public knowledge. I think this is going to be a big bane for them. I think there's been a lot of great evidence over the years that nobody's ever seen that maybe gets uploaded and it either gets dismissed as a fake, or people get told, no, you saw a bear, or it gets mysteriously taken down, or their account gets taken down, or certain people on the internet pop up immediately to discredit those. And so I think with the prevalence of cameras out there, I think this is one way that I think someone's going to get irrefutable evidence. I think someone's going to get good, clear Patterson-Gimlin type footage for 2019 or 2020, whenever it happens, of the arms, the legs, of them walking, the full locomotion. Just like with Patty, you can prove that it's not a guy in a suit because the proportions don't line up. The elbows don't meet where the wrists are on a human. The neck doesn't match up. You can't put a guy in a suit and have all the joints be in the right area, like in the Patterson-Gimlin film. And then someone's going to have it move, and then they can maybe find footprints, huge indentations in the ground, and have it be good corroborated evidence. It's just a matter of time. In fact, I'm sure someone's got it out there right now and can't release it, or has been bullied into, or is afraid to release it. So I think this is one way that people always say it's going to take a body. It's going to take a body. Well, I think if enough people start putting good footage out there, it might not be definitive proof for the hardcore skeptics, because they're always going to want more, because that's why they're skeptics. But I think it would be a really good start, and it would be really hard for the government agency to suppress this forever. And I think that would be one of the best ways that they could not continue on if they wanted to have Sasquatch disclosure, is just stop enforcement, stop shutting people down, stop suppressing images, stop doing their online troll stuff where they try to get people dismissed and their disinformation program. I think if they just stop enforcing, eventually enough evidence will come forward that it could be rather definitive. So in kind of that same vein of the best way they could disclose it is not disclose it, but just stop enforcing what they're doing, is also the idea that there's a lot of hunters out there. There's a lot of people driving semi-trucks that have reported to hit them. There's a lot of hunters who have shot them. There's a lot of reports of people who've had them on their property and they've taken pot shots. People have reported coming across dens of these things. And there are a lot of stories, whether you believe them or not, and you're welcome to not believe them because that's how this world works, of people who have shot them out hunting or had them around their house or thought it was a prowler or thought it was something else. And somebody has shown up and the body has disappeared and they were told to be hush-hush about it. And there seems to be a coordinated effort and cover-up. I think one of the best ways that they could actually disclose it is just stop enforcing that. Let some hunter or some farmer or somebody who lives out in a rural country who shoots one of these things, let them bring it in. Let them bring it before the 7 o'clock news. Let them bring it before, let them haul it up to Idaho and show Dr. Meldrum and do a big press conference. Let people come up and see it and smell it and poke it and tell what it is. Invite scientists to come up and just show it off. And that would be great proof. Now, I know one of the big things, especially if you believe anything with the Bluff Creek Massacre theory, is that the logging industry has a lot to do with why they don't want this disclosed. And a lot of logging industry knows for years that these things do, and they know that there'd be protected habitat. And I get it. I'm as much of a capitalist as the next guy. I don't want logging industries to get hurt. I want private industry to continue, and I want Americans to work, obviously. But there's a certain point to where making money and people going into the woods need to know that there's this potentially dangerous creature out there all across the United States, not just in the Pacific Northwest. And I think one of the ways they could do it, maybe area by area, is if they, somebody shot one in East Texas, that doesn't necessarily prove that they're in the Pacific Northwest. It means that they're a real creature and there's a possibility. But I think they need to be confirmed and studied in other areas, just like they do with other animals. So I think if they let it come out, somebody shot one or hit one with a car, let them bring it in. Don't prosecute these people. Let them put the evidence out there, and that would be a really good way. And I know that's what all the skeptics and all the non-believers want anyways. They really want to see a body. And, we want a body, and people actually out there hunting them. And then there's, That's not even getting into the moral question of, I don't think you should go out and actually hunt these things. I think they may be closer to a human. I think there's a very real chance that you will get killed if you go try to hunt these things. And then there's a whole thing about the Undiscovered Species Act. If you shoot one, you could, be fined. I think it's up to like $500,000 and 10 years in jail for shooting an undiscovered species. So there's always that. So actively going out and hunting one, I think, is a bad idea all around, just for your personal safety, for the fact that maybe these things may or may not be human, and the fact that you could go to jail for a lot of reasons. And in certain areas and counties, they are protected already anyway. But that's besides the point. I think if one's accidentally shot or misidentified, or if it was in self-defense, or one gets hit by a car or a truck or a tractor, or gets rat poisoned or something, then I think that would be a great way to disclose it, is just kind of let it happen naturally. So that's just my 2 cents on how I think the best way that they could acknowledge this species without having to come clean with everything that they know, and whoever's covering this up, and we've talked about the cover up quite a bit, as much as we would love a big press conference where, all these heads and, heads of Department of Interior and Department of Homeland Security and the military come out and say, yeah, we've known about these creatures for years. Here's all our files. Here's what we know about them. Here's where they live. And yeah, we've known they're dangerous. And this, this is what we know. Here's images of them. This is, their lifespan, what they eat, all that kind of stuff. That would never happen in a million years, as much as we would love that kind of disclosure to happen. I think the best way that they could have plausible deniability is, like I said, just stop enforcing. Let someone hit one with a car. Let someone shoot one. Let a whole bunch of really good, a group of 7 or 8 hikers all film one from different angles and all verify that it was, 7 or 8 feet tall and didn't have human proportions, and they all verified it was real. And then more people saw the same creature with the same markings later on that day or a week later. Have it be very, very verifiable evidence. Or like I said, someone shoots one and brings in a body. I think they just stop enforcing it would be the best way to disclose it. And that way they could just act like they didn't know anything about it. And that would, whoever's pulling the strings on this thing, I think that would be their best way out of it. But that's just my 2 cents. Why don't you guys let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much, and stay safe in the woods.